Chapter 8. In the Red Dawn. Are you okay? Annie asked Jack. She was still holding the wand. Her pigtails blew in the bright wind. Yeah, but what happened? Said Jack, in a daze. He was freezing and out of breath. Where are we? I don't know, whispered Annie. Jack shielded his eyes from the brilliant light of the red dawn and looked around. Pink clouds floated through the air like piles of cotton candy. Through a gap in the clouds, he saw hills shrouded in black smoke below. Beneath the smoke, flames rose from the city of Edo. I think we're on Mount Fuji, said Annie. Mount Fuji? Said Jack. That's crazy. Why are we here? He stopped to catch his breath. He felt dizzy and lightheaded. Edo's burning! We should be there! Maybe the wand didn't understand, said Annie. Maybe it was trying to save us by taking us far away from the fire. Suddenly a great mass of thick clouds piled up, ringing the mountain top like a wall. The clouds swirled and whirled and tumbled. They changed color from rose to gold, to gray to white. What's going on? Cried Jack. The head of a gigantic monster rose from the bubbling clouds. Ah! Jack and Annie screamed. They grabbed each other and crouched down on the rocky ledge. The monster had spiky eyebrows and long curled whiskers. It had the horns of a deer, the forked tongue of a snake, and the fiery breath of a dragon. Through the swirling clouds, Jack and Annie could see the dragon's snake-like body curling through the clouds and down the mountainside. Its back was covered with shiny scales. Its spine had a row of shark-like fins. The dragon reached out its claws. They were like the claws of an eagle, only 1,000 times bigger. The claws gripped the side of the mountain. Jack made himself as small as he could. He covered his head, but Annie jumped to her feet. I get it! She cried. I know what's happening. Thank you for coming. Annie, get down! Jack shouted. Jack, it's the cloud dragon, said Annie. The puppet show, remember? The wand sent her here. What? Why? Cried Jack. She makes rain, don't you remember? Rain! Cried Annie. She commands the rain clouds. The dragon lowered her giant head, stretching it over the mountain ledge. Her scales glittered honey gold in the dawnlight. She was still, very still, as if she were waiting for something. Come on, we have to climb on her back, shouted Annie. Why? Cried Jack. We have to go with her, said Annie. The wand brought us to the dragon. Now it's up to us to show her what to do. Okay, said Jack. Annie climbed onto the back of the cloud dragon. She sat between two of the dragon's shark-like fins. Jack climbed on behind her. He gripped the fin in front of him as if he were holding on to the horn of a saddle. Fly over the fire, yelled Annie. Make rain. Lots of it, shouted Jack. The cloud dragon slid off the mountain ledge. Jack trembled with cold as the monster slithered through the freezing sea of clouds, like a snake through the grass. Above Edo, Jack looked down. Billowing black smoke and red flames shot into the dawn sky. Now! Rain now! Jack said. The cloud dragon reared back her head. Great black clouds flowed from her mouth. The clouds spread across the sky. There was a crack of thunder and a flash of lightning. Then rain began to pour down on the city. The dragon twisted her head this way and that. More clouds blew from her mouth, and more rain fell on the burning city of Edo. As the dragon slithered through the sky, breathing out mountains of storm clouds, rain fell on the flat lands of the rice fields, on the imperial garden, the samurai castles, the fish market, and the great bridge. Rain fell on the floating world of inns and stages, tea houses, temples, and farms. Rain fell on the lumber yard and the pine forest and the canals. Slowly the rain washed away all the smoke and flames. Even after the fires of Edo no longer flickered, the cloud dragon breathed more black clouds, and the rain kept falling steadily, soaking the gardens and fields, filling the shallow rivers and dried up ponds. The fire's out! Jack shouted. Take us to Bachot's, Annie yelled to the dragon. The cloud dragon twisted her giant body. She slid through the dark clouds. Then she reared up until Jack and Annie couldn't hold on any longer, and they were falling backward, somersaulting through the air. Splash! Splash! Jack sank to the bottom of the river. He flailed his arms and struggled to the surface. His head bobbed up. He spewed out water and gasped for air. He had lost his glasses. He dove back down and grabbed them from the river bottom, then swam back to the surface. Treading water, he wiped his glasses, then put them on. Hi! Annie yelled. She was holding the wand in the air above the water. Hi! Jack yelled back. Jack and Annie swam toward the bank of the river. They swam until their feet could touch the bottom. Then they dragged themselves out of the water and collapsed on the muddy bank. They had lost their socks and sandals. Their silk kimonos clung to their bodies. Dripping wet, they gasped for breath and looked up at the sky. Big drops of rain splashed on their faces. There was no sign of the cloud dragon, but the cool rain kept falling, bathing the floating world of Ito.